Thank you for joining us today as we take a look at how to run the File Layout Wizard and use it to make a simple data handling application.
Open Business Rules and run the File Layout Wizard. You will see the File Layout Manager. Since this is our first file layout to create, hit the Add button. And this is where you enter the file layout name, which is what the file layout will be about. It could be customer data or any other kind of information you would like to collect and use. In this case, we're going to create a recipes program. So type in recipes and hit enter or OK. As you can see, the wizard pre-populates the file layout name, the data file name, which is where your actual pieces of information will be stored, the prefix, which will be used to reference variables in your program, and the version, which starts at 0 because this is the first one. To add an element to the file layout and your data file, simply click the Add button. An element is each piece of information that will be used in your data. So let's add name first, and we'll choose the format of a text, medium length, which means it's 40 characters, and hit Add or Enter. And then we'll add a few more ingredients, amount, which will have a format of number, measure, which would be like cup, tablespoon, teaspoon, order, which you add the ingredient, and an action, which will make a long text up to 400 characters. Then hit Done when you're done adding elements, and make file layout, which will automatically create the text file of your file layout. And to see it, go up a level to the File A folder, and then you can open it using any simple text editor, and there you have it. You can see the data file name, the prefix, and the version number in the header, and then all of our elements below the line. Next, run Screen.io, and hit the File Layout button, and select the file layout we just did, Recipes. And on the left, you can see the elements that we added. Next, we'll add a screen that allows the user to view, add, and edit data for each of the file layouts. Under Tools, select Generate Screen, then choose the Recipes file layout, and the two screens that we're going to make are pre-selected, but you could change the screen names if you wanted to. Then select all the elements that you want to include in each screen, and hit Generate. Then do the same for the second screen, add edit. Recipes.dat is the file layout, so hit OK. And you can see the recipes list screen and the edit recipe screen. First, I'm going to rename this to something nicer. So click on it and change the caption to recipes, and then resize it using spacebar and backspace. To change the display width of each of the columns in the list view, select it and then press Enter until the screen looks like that. And down at display width, change it to something more appropriate. So 20 for name, 20 for ingredient. We'll leave measure the same, 20 for action, 2 for amount, 3 for other, and hit enter, and you can see how it looks a little better. Then I'm just going to make the list view a little wider by pressing space and move it around using the left and right arrow keys. I'll also use backspace and the arrow keys to make the filter box look a little smaller and on the left. Click on the Select button and hit Delete to remove it. Click on the Edit button and check to make sure that the function is set to our other screen with a record equal current rec. And the Add button should be to Recipe Edit screen too. Then save and test. And you can see that we don't have any data yet in our data file, so you can hit Add. And let's demonstrate a simple recipe for pancakes. the first ingredient will be flour, say a measure of 2. The action is stir. And actually the measure should be cups, and the amount 2. And since that doesn't flow logically, let's go back and edit our screen. Nonetheless, when you hit save, you can see it in our data file. So on the edit recipe screen, let's move measure by clicking and using the arrow keys. Put amount there and order next to it on the left. You can also move things by clicking on them to highlight them, then clicking where you want them to go. And if you ever want to make a big text box several lines deep, simply use the page up and page down buttons to make it bigger. Lastly, click Set Tab Order to set the tabs, and then click through in the order you would like the tabs to move. After you save that, let's test the screen again. This time when we add a new item to our data file, it shows our new screen with a tab order. Let's add salt. And there we go. Lastly, let's create a shortcut so that when the user opens Business Rules, it goes straight to your application. To do this, go to the folder where you keep BR and find the brconfig.sys file and open it in a text editor. At the bottom, add the command execute, quote, run, and the name of your program, in this case greenio\recipeslist. Save and close it. Now next time you open BR, it will go directly to your program. And if you wanted, you could rename this shortcut to recipes.